Hello. We're gonna go ahead and mute our mics for right now, and then we'll wait for some people to join us, and then we'll begin momentarily. All right. We still have some people that are slowly popping in, but we're gonna go ahead and begin. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Clay Wiley. I'm the Associate Director of Communications and Engagement. Today, we really want to have a good discussion with all of you watching, just to give you a little bit of insight into how the fall will look. There, of course, are a lot of questions, a lot of people unsure of what to expect, a lot of different things happening. And we want to not only make you aware of how the registration process will look, what your class schedule will look like, but also give you a little bit of insight into how some instructors are preparing for some of the changes. Maybe have a little bit of discussion about what decisions were made, how those decisions were made. As we go throughout the event, we'll try to answer some questions that we've already had, some common questions we've had throughout the summer as things have changed. But there is a Q&A section. You should be able to ask questions throughout the event. I will try to keep up with it. We may not answer all questions, but we'll do our best to answer those questions as we go. Once we're done, I'll give you some contact information, so that way if you still have questions or if you didn't get your question answered, you can reach out to us through some other means and we'll answer as best we can. Before we begin, I want to do some introductions. So why don't we start with Dustin. I'll let you go first and tell us who you are and what your position is.
Yeah, hello, my name is Dustin Brazier. I'm an enrollment advisor here at Nwacc, which I do all sorts of things with students. I work with records, we work with financial aid, we help you get into your courses, and really sometimes just help you find guidance in life as well. So I'm all over the place, and I'm someone who can definitely help you get connected with other people on campus as well.
All right, we'll move to Justin next.
Sure. Good morning. Thank you, Clay. My name is Justin White. I'm the Associate Vice President of Student Services at Nwacc. Our office oversees, of course, recruitment, admissions, communications and engagement, and then high school relations, so our early college experience and secondary career center. Happy to join you today.
All right. Jennifer Swartout, we'll do you next.
Hi there, I'm the Dean of Communication and Arts. So in my division, we have courses like English and art and music, theater, and so I supervise the faculty who teach you.
Jennifer Cook.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Cook. I'm the chair of the English department. I'm chair over Composition 1, literature, and academic literacy programs.
All right, and Sherry.
Hi, everybody. I work through a grant at Nwacc, and I also teach in the English department. Primarily, I am a support person for students and faculty.
Great. So these are our experts for the morning. We will be having the discussion with all of them. They're going to be working with students in different areas. And so we'll start first with Dustin, and he's going to give us a little bit of information about the advising process and what the different class formats are available and how they look on your schedule. So Dustin, why don't you kind of give us a little bit of information on what those class formats are and how they show up in your schedule, just like what I said.
Sure, let's go ahead and discuss the different formats. And just to backtrack real quickly, I did want to talk just briefly what you might expect as well in an advising appointment. When you come in and meet with us, it may cover a lot of things. We might sit down with you and discuss not only what your goals and ambitions are, and try to figure out what plan going forward and progression is best for you. But we also want to evaluate, hey, your life and work and family balance, that everything comes into it. And then also try to find courses that are going to meet your life and your schedule and help you complete your degree in a very efficient and time-sensitive way. I'm going to go ahead and open up my own registration screen. And on this screen, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through how to see what modalities your classes you're already enrolled in are, and then also look at classes, if we're looking for new classes, what we can see what modality those classes are in as well. And hopefully this will make sense as we go ahead and look over them. So as you can see here, this is our registration screen. Right down below, I'm going to go ahead and open this up so we can just see just the bottom. These are classes that I am currently enrolled in. when you have your courses that you're looking at, you can go ahead and hover right above the course title. And when you select this, this will actually open up a few different details about the class that you're looking at. Normally, I say this very first thing right here, online campus live streaming. This is a psych course that is going to meet every Tuesday and Thursday for a live streamed meeting. So you are expected to be at this class every Tuesday and Thursday online, right? You're going to watch this class from a live streamed format. You don't have to come to campus for this class. I make that very clear, but you do need to be available at that time. If you are working or you have other commitments during this time, you do not want to be in this class. You will have to be in front of your computer and engaging in your class during this period of time. I also want to go ahead and click this button here, class details. When we click here, you can also see again, the instructional method is live streaming. Now, you're thinking, what about traditional online classes as well? What's the difference between those? So I'm going to go ahead and select one of the classes I've enrolled in that is an online class, this Materials of Construction class. Now, if you see here, it says online campus, online class. You'll also note that there are no days where it's saying that I need to be in class. There are no meeting times for this class. These classes are meant to benefit your schedule where you don't need to be at a certain place at a certain time. If you have any of these classes, you will not need to show up for a live streamed class event. Again, I suggest clicking these class details and making sure that you're seeing here instructional method, online classes. Now, there is a third mode that I do want to go over briefly and quickly, where you will be required to attend certain limited in-class times. Right here, my introduction to craft skills. You might find these with labs, construction courses, culinary courses, and a smaller list of courses that might require you to be in person. Now, when you click here, you're not going to see anything as far as a rotation, but again, we're going to go ahead and click that class details. Lecture lab with rotation. And if we see here, I do have a meeting time and place. And these will have more information coming from your instructors as far as what that looks like. We have limited the number of students in these classes as well, but you do have a time where you will need to be on campus in your lab for certain time periods for that class period. Beyond that, I did also want to show you how to look at the modality when you're searching for classes. Here I have a quick search I just pulled up for college algebra, a typical class that you might take. When I'm looking here, you can see some of these have no days in which they're meeting. And if we extend this, you can see these are likely our online anytime classes. These classes will not have a time where you need to show up for a live stream or lab course. Now let's go ahead and select one of these ones. It has a Tuesday, Thursday meeting from 3 to 4:15. You think, well, do I need to be in person? Go ahead and select, again, the title. And you can see right here, live streaming. That means this class is going to be a live streamed event. You will need to be available for the times that it shows, but you will not need to be in person. Let's see. Is there anything else I should cover, Clay? Anything you'd like me to show? I think you're muted.
You're right. I think that's kind of it. Really just showing what, we haven't had any questions come in, but really just showing what those classes look like as students are picking their schedules out. One thing to say that I want to add is, if you have a question, just reach out to your advisor. That is what they are here for. So definitely reach out to Dustin, reach out to whoever you've been scheduling your classes with, and they will explain all of this to you. If we don't expect you to be experts on everything right now, so definitely reach out to us and get help if you need it.
Great, thank you.
All right, so we don't have any questions specifically coming in for advising, but another thing to add is just check your email. A lot of the personal information we send on your specific classes will go to your Nwacc email, so definitely use that to contact your advisor. If you need help logging into your Nwacc account, contact the IT help desk. You can find that on the website as well, and they'll help you get into the account. But other than that, we will go ahead and move on to our next discussion. Justin and Jennifer, if y'all want to kind of give a little bit of background on how the decisions were made to send everything into the new formats we're going into in the fall, both on, just the student support side as well as the actual in-class side. Just kind of give some information what those decisions were like, as well as what you were keeping in mind as you had those discussions.
Sure. I'll go ahead and start, Clay, and Jennifer, I'll allow you to come in and tag team with me whenever you feel necessary. But really, it's simple. It's with flexibility and safety in mind. We know that every individual student circumstance is different, and whether you are a graduating senior, maybe just coming out of Springdale High School or Bentonville or Rogers or West Fork, any of our local school partners, we want you to feel safe, whether you're a non-traditional student or whether you're a non-traditional student looking to come back, maybe displaced from your workplace because of COVID-19. We want you to feel safe. And then have the flexibility to care for your family, to care for your loved ones, to offer support on your personal level in your family while continuing your education. At a time of uncertainty like this, your community college is here to offer support and to help you. And we want to be that beacon of hope during this time. We all have had our lives disrupted, and we want to make sure that we're here for you. We know that you all had plans, whether, again, you're coming out of high school or whether you're looking to go back and get into a new career. We want to be that for you. So it's really basic. It's about your safety, and it's about you having individual flexibility. And that's why you'll see these options, whether on campus with social distancing and in some instances, such as our classes in CHP, our health professions courses in nursing, or our Brightwater, our Culinary Institute, you may see physical barriers that protect you from your peers, from your classmates. And so we have really tried to look at every situation on an individual course perspective, and again, with your safety in mind. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Swartout and from the academic standpoint, and then maybe we can follow up with some student services and some wraparound support and resources that you may be privy to.
Absolutely. I think I'll just echo what you said about safety being the first priority, and then quality. In the spring, we had a very unexpected move to online and remote learning. And one of the things that we all missed, and we certainly heard from students, is, hey, I really wanted to have that real-time interaction with my instructor. So we know that many students really love the online anytime experience, and that gives ultimate flexibility in terms of your schedule. If you're working, you're taking care of family. But we also know that the remote classes, the live stream, that gives us an opportunity for regular meetings, and that it's the closest we're going to get to face-to-face, real-time, instruction and interaction, and we all really love that. So I know that the faculty are going to tell you a little bit about how they're preparing for being in the classroom and the online classroom and the remote classroom working with you. What I want to emphasize is simply that we are committed to giving you an excellent educational experience this fall. We're working incredibly hard because we can't wait to see you. So I'll stop there, and then I can certainly answer questions later if people have them.
Clay, you're muted.
I keep doing that. We did have some questions pop in, and I'm going to try to answer these as we go if they're relevant to the conversation. Some of these we might wait until the end. We've had some questions come in about some of the things that Dustin was showing. So Dustin, at the end, we might just have you show one more time some of the classes. Someone asked how to access the page Dustin was using. He'll show us the steps to get to it. So if you hang in there towards the end, we'll go to that. A question of what if you haven't spoken with an advisor yet? Excuse me, if you haven't spoken with an advisor, it really depends on where you are in the process. If you haven't even applied, I suggest go ahead and apply. There is no application fee. But that will kind of get you sort of on our radar in a way so we know you're interested. And you'll start getting the messages from us saying, hey, this is how you contact us. Again, at the very end, I'll show you some contact information on how you can reach out to us if you still have more questions, If you want us to talk to an advisor before you do anything else, we can get you set up with someone. We did have someone ask, I'm a transfer student and I haven't registered for classes yet. Do I have to meet with an advisor in person before I register, or can I do everything online? We are actually doing everything online right now, and we aren't doing any in-person meetings. So what you can do is reach out to us, like I said, when we show you the contact information, and we will get you connected with an advisor, and they will be able to, they'll speak with you through email, but they can also set up a virtual meeting with you or a phone call to discuss your options. They'll be able to look at where you're transferring from and kind of give you an idea of what your schedule could look like. So no, there will be no in-person meetings. You can do everything online.
Hey, Clay, if I could add to that really quickly, and Dustin, you may have some input from the advising standpoint, but once you apply to the college, whether you are a first-time entering student, a transfer student, whether you're at University of Arkansas and looking to take a few classes with us as a visiting student, go ahead and apply to the college, and with a relatively short amount of time, you will receive an automated email with a congratulations that you've been accepted and linking you to an advisor. And then from that point, the advisor will specifically reach out to you with next steps. So, Dustin, do you mind to walk through that? So, again, this would be for a transfer student, but also any of our students that have applied and been accepted to the college.
Yes, of course. So when we have students apply, one of the first steps that we're going to do is actually reach out to you, where you're able to contact your advisor. Right, you might receive an email from me or any of the other enrollment advisors in our department. And we're going to be your point person. We're going to be the person walking you through any records requirements we still have for you, making sure we're getting transcripts in, and then also ultimately giving you course recommendations or getting you in touch with a divisional or program advisor to make sure that you're getting the exact courses that you need moving forward with your educational career. With that said, much of this communication is going to come to your Nwacc email. We are limited in what we can always convey to a personal email. So make sure that you have your access, both username and password, and you're able to access your Nwacc email and account. At the end of this, when I show you the registration screen, I'll also show you a quick tab to check your Nwacc email through our web-based email browser. In addition to that, I lost my thought. No, I think that's about it. So anything else you'd like me to add?
I think that's it from my perspective. I'm just scrolling through the questions pretty quickly. Classes do start. We're still scheduled to start on time. I believe August 22nd is the first day of classes. That's a Saturday, but there is the chance of having a Saturday class in there. But that's right. Everyone, am I saying the right date on there? I think that's correct. So that's when they'll start. I know that there is probably some start dates pushed back for high schools and local elementary schools and stuff, but we are still starting at our scheduled time. Why don't we go ahead and move on to our faculty members? There are still some questions, but I will get to those at the end. So we'll speak with Jennifer and Sherry. They are instructors in the classroom, and so they will give a little bit of insight into what they're planning for the fall, how they're planning on working with their students to help them succeed, and then to accomplish all the tasks they need to accomplish in their courses. So do either of y'all want to go first? Anybody want to kind of just get some information on what you're doing?
I'll go ahead and start if that's okay.
Okay.
I have some general tips for students that I'd like to share for a successful semester, and then I will go into Canvas and give a brief overview of modules and how the course is organized for some of the English courses. First of all, I would like to suggest students plan for the semester, and that could be a hard copy planner, or there are apps to help you plan your studying, plan your time. Time planning, time management is crucial. Also, set a routine and a place where you study. Most of the assignments in our courses in English, ENGA courses, are due Sunday at midnight, so you have weekends to work on your assignments. Another point I'd like to make is check into your course, log into your course on Canvas on a regular basis. If an instructor puts an announcement in Canvas for that week, you will get an email too. So use Canvas. It's there for you. It will be very organized. There's also a Canvas app for students. And let me show everybody what that looks like really quick. Bear with me a second. Okay. Can you guys see that Canvas app?
Yep, it should be pulled up.
Okay, does everybody see that? Okay, this is an app you can use from your mobile device to log into Canvas, check your emails, check what's going on in your course. I suggest, though, this is a great tool, but it's not a great tool for submitting assignments. So just keep that in mind. Okay, and let me go to an actual Canvas course. Can everybody see my screen? Okay, so this is what one of the English courses would look like from a student perspective. If you notice on the home screen, obviously you have a welcome, you have some links to the syllabus. Over on the left-hand side, modules. This is where you will be most of the time in your course, and this will show you how everything's organized in your course. Now keep in mind this is a course in progress, but notice it's organized by week. So we'll take it 1 week at a time to not overwhelm you. And each week, going back up to week 1, we'll have an introduction assignment. Your instructor will walk you through this. So if you meet online at a scheduled time, we will walk you through this first week. And we will have some fun activities where we get to know each other. Most instructors, from what I understand, will walk you through Canvas. So we'll do a screen share like we're doing now and walk you through Canvas. Show you what's there, show you how to access everything, your email, your grades, the course modules. Also, we have support in place for you. We'll have workshops. So we'll have live virtual workshops on writing topics, specifically grammar topics. Right now the schedule is Wednesdays at 3, Friday at 3, and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. So you'll have an option to meet with 2 instructors and talk about grammar topics. So that's pretty much all I have to share.
Thank you, Sherry. That's very helpful. I just want to say that I feel like students are going to have some anxiety about having to meet in this format, but I want to encourage you to go ahead and apply, get into a class. Don't be scared. We can all do this. This is new for all of us. We don't usually meet this way, but I want you to feel assured that your instructor is going to work with you. We are going to work with your schedule. We are going to help you through this unique time, in this unique way of meeting. Just please know that this is new for all of us, but we can do this. We will do this together. We will join together and we will figure out how to learn in this new environment. And as others have said, safety is the #1 concern here. So keep that in mind. I know this is not what you were expecting, especially if this is your first semester in college. But we want to give you the most authentic experience that we can in this new format. And we will do that, and we will work with you. We can do this.
Excellent.
I see that Stephanie Lewis joined us too, and Stephanie's an art instructor, and you've got in your department, she's also the art chair, has some of the few classes in our division that are meeting on campus, and I wondered if you wanted to say anything about how instructors are preparing to teach some classes remote synchronous, and then any thoughts about the classes that are in the building and what we're doing to protect safety and make it a great experience.
Yes. At first, I thought it was going to be a little daunting. It is. It's a complete paradigm shift, but I like the challenge for my own classes. And it's making me freshen up my classes in a really creative way, which I also like. But as far as students go, my rule of my own personal course design, and all of my classes are going to be remote synchronous, which you're wondering, how will you do a studio art class that way? Well, I will share you how I do a course design, and then I'll talk about the ones that are on campus. Let me hit the share button here real quick. Where's my selection? There it is. I hope that works because I've been having internet issues this morning. Here it comes. Maybe. Did it come up?
Yep, it should be up.
I don't see the presenter bar for me. I can't see anything. Oh, there it is. Okay, so here is my basic idea with Canvas or any platform that's online. I've taught since 2001, since WebCT, is keep the menu simple and keep the modules simple so that there's not a lot of scrolling and you can open them a little bit at a time. One of the things I'm doing is I'm giving a lot of generous information for my studio classes. You can get the administrative stuff. You can meet me, the class schedule, the syllabus will be above that. This will be a link to get into our virtual classroom. This is a link to get into my virtual office hours. Safety information, because they'll be working from home and you don't want to aspirate things, unhealthy things. So I give them information of how to work at home with those materials. Supplies, and that's really important. One of the things we're doing is we have a lab fee, and we're in the process of arranging art kits for each class, so they will be distributed through the parking lot at some point in the near future. And so students will have their art supplies, at least most of them. We don't ever supply all of them, but we do try to supply enough. And since we don't have the studio space they'll be using, we want to make up for that by giving them as much as we can for the fee that they pay. Usually it goes partially for wear and tear on equipment as well. There's also a link here about how to create a home studio space, because that's a discipline. Art is a discipline. You have to be able to create a space. It has to be, pretty relatively free of being disturbed by others and pets and such. How to set up your own still life. This is a drawing one class that I've created. And how to photograph your drawings in an easy way using your cell phone. So, because they're going to have to submit those drawings via the internet. I'm having mine share it through Teams so we can do live critiques. We're going to do in-process critiques during class, and we're going to do final critiques during class, as well as drawing. So they'll log in, log out, come back, and then we'll talk. And I also have generous explanations here on how remote synchronous and how asynchronous stuff works. And I have both elements to these classes. I have a remote learning guide, which has to do with some of the stuff that Sherry spoke about as far as discipline, what you need for your desktop or laptop computer specifications, how we'll use class time specifically, how to do a critique, and then a guide for how to share your things and how to work with Microsoft Teams just from a student point of view. So it has nothing to do with what I do. So it doesn't get muddied with random directions. I also have an asynchronous tool here, which is a discussion board where they can share pictures in progress and ask each other for help on their drawings so that they can interact with each other when we're not in class. And then I'm really big on clarity, so we'll pick a assignment here. So I don't have the assignment, just has the rubric. Let me go out of student view. Okay, so I give them pertinent Canvas course content. We'll talk in class. I'll introduce the project. I'm filming my demos next week, and then I'm going to upload those as well. But give them a pertinent information up there. There's always a link to safety information, help with your project, discussion board, and then a detailed explanation for how the project works with, an example of what it might look like, or multiple examples, and then again, how to submit their artwork and a rubric. So that's kind of what I've got going on with my class. Let me go back to the student view, modules. So all the projects have the same format. Then there's the course content, which I link to in the projects, but if they want to look at them separately, again, they're right there. Because we don't have textbooks. That's how we save you money in art. And then I have personal stuff or things that are of interest, like art club, Facebook pages and stuff like that. and recommended reading. So that's how I design my online classes. And so remote synchronous is kind of a middle ground between face-to-face and that. So as far as the face-to-face classes, those are mainly our three-dimensional classes that are heavy duty in terms of tools and equipment and need to get to things that you actually physically have to use. Most of our two-dimensional art stuff can be done in a small space in your home very safely, or in some other space very safely. So there's going to be social distancing in the classroom. There's going to be cleaning. There's going to be mask wearing. There's going to be rotated schedules so that some classes will have half the class meet on one day and half the class meet on the other to ensure social distancing. But it's just so you, like, if you're working in 3D design, you can use the saws and the work table and all the tools that we have available that you may not be able to afford yourself, but you need access to that kind of infrastructure. And they're also going to devise a plan if, God forbid, we have to go off campus again completely. They're developing Plan B projects and how to do things from home in a more scaled down fashion. So we are prepared. And as far as support goes, I think art department brag on us. We're always very supportive. We're 100% behind each other. We have each other's backs and our students' backs. And I'm not worried about that at all. So hopefully that wasn't too long.
No, that was perfect. For the viewers, as you can see, the instructors, and this isn't just limited to these instructors, everyone across campus is trying to be as creative as possible to make sure you're safe and protected, but also to make things as normal as possible. So we did have a question, and this kind of also leads into just some good advice. And I'm sure our faculty members can, attest to this. If you have a concern or a question, always reach out to your instructor because, they will be able to help you with what you need help with or find you the right support or help. We did have a question that said for on-campus classes that have attendance requirements, if a student should get sick with COVID symptoms and need to quarantine as a precaution, what is the policy for absences for that? So do we have any specific policies that will be going into place? I didn't know if, someone from Jennifer or Justin or one of the faculty members wanted to speak to this.
Sure, we could speak to that. Jennifer, you and I could tag team. Actually, we're finalizing plans as of this morning. Jennifer and I were in a meeting where the policy and the procedures for this were presented and approved. And so if you're a student and you experience any type of COVID-related symptoms, the most important thing you need to do is to stay home, stay safe, and contact your medical provider immediately. But stay in contact with your faculty members. Let them know what's going on with you. And then contact the Dean of Students office. The Dean of Students will be there to support you confidentially, adhering to all of your individual needs. Again, privacy is of utmost concern for us, but communication is important. So if you have a fever, if you don't feel well, stay home, do not come to campus, but communicate with your faculty and communicate with the Dean of Students office, and they'll be able to walk you through next steps. And Dr. Swartout, can you speak to the absenteeism from that perspective and what that looks like with the flexibility of faculty?
Sure. Well, I think you can probably hear from the faculty who have presented just now. I think we're all aware, number one, that safety is the most important thing, and that this might be one of those semesters. It most likely will be a semester where people are going to need flexibility. And so your instructors will have attendance policies, but also an awareness that, that stuff may happen. And so I think if there's any questions, you definitely want to get in touch with your instructor. And if you need help, ask for it. We've got advisors, as Justin said. The Dean of Students office is poised to help. I wonder if any instructors just had any point of view you wanted to share about flexibility and illness in any semester.
All right. Yeah, of course, our instructors are here for you. We will work with you if you have any issues regarding, we understand also that if you have children, they may or may not be in school. I don't plan on sending mine back to school. So, we understand that you may have conflicting things going on in your lives. You might have a job that you're trying to work with. You may have multiple, there are just various things that could happen in this new climate. But we will work with you. We are here for you. And we understand, I don't know if you can hear my dog running around in the background, but we understand that this is a new climate. And, you know, we're here for you. We have the same things going on as you do. And so we're definitely going to be flexible with you, and we will work with you. Know that. Don't be afraid to go ahead and take a class, because you can do this. And this is a new environment for all of us. You know, so attendance at a live stream class, we understand that can be hairy sometimes. We may have children running around in the background, as well as you do, but this is a new landscape, and we are flexible, and we will work with you. So do not be afraid to go ahead and register. We look forward to seeing you. We want to see you. I look forward to seeing my students. That's my 2 cents.
And I want to say something really quick. I second everything Jennifer said, but let me say this too. Please communicate with us. I think that is the key. Let us know what's going on. If you're struggling with something outside of college, in your personal life, let us know. We'll work with you, but the key is communication, whether that is an email, a text, whatever you need to do to let us know what's going on. We will work with you. Our goal is your success. Like Jennifer said, we're here to support you.
Absolutely. That is our number 1 goal. Thanks, Sherry.
Absolutely. So as you can see, it's different for everyone, but we're all in this together. We're doing what we can to make sure we're meeting you where you are. Of course, it's all different, so we have to be creative with how we're doing that. But at Nwacc, everyone across the campus is doing everything they possibly can to make sure we are serving you in a way that's going to make you successful, but also keep you healthy and safe. Some of the questions I'm going to answer really quick. So again, the first day of fall, classes begin on the 22nd. Someone did ask if they can pay the fees later in the semester. What you can actually do is speak with, is it financial aid, Justin? Or
yeah, I can speak to that. So August the 11th is payment due date. There is some flexibility after that time, but if you do not set up your payment plan or make arrangements or pay your bill in full by August the 11th, you will be dropped from your courses at this point. But you do have an opportunity to re-enroll in those courses if they're available through the first Friday of the first week that classes start, as long as the courses are open. But it is important that you secure your seat in the courses by securing your payment. And so that is August 11th. If you haven't secured by August 11th, you will be dropped from your classes, but you do have an opportunity to re-enroll into open courses. You do run the risk that some courses may not be available. But yes, if you need to make contact with someone to talk about financial aid, talk about scholarships, reach out to enrollment support, and they will be able to connect you. Clay will go over the contact information at the end, but you can reach them now by text, by phone call, or by email. And so again, look for that at the end of the presentation and conversation today.
Right. And then one thing to mention as well, we will make sure you get a reminder about the payment deadline. So that way we'll send it through email and text message. So that way you're aware and you know what's coming up. And we will also let you know if for whatever reason you just forgot or something, or you did miss that deadline. We'll send those students a reminder saying, hey, you missed the deadline. You've been dropped from courses. And we'll tell you the next steps and how to re-enroll or what you need to do to get that information set up. Excuse me. Some people have put some kind of personal questions in the box. I'm trying to respond to those as we go. However, whenever we, at the end, when I show the contact information, definitely email, text us, or call us and get connected individually. So that way we don't kind of answer those more specific questions in front of everyone. But we want to make sure we get your questions answered. So I'll definitely give you contact information and try to reach out to you here as well. Someone also asked, do I still have time to do the AccuPlacer and register for fall classes? They have already done the enrollment? I'm assuming you mean you've already applied for admission. Dustin, as an advisor, do you want to respond to this? If students still have time for the IQ Placer and to register?
Oh, absolutely. Let me say this, you have time, absolutely. Let me also say, you don't have all the time in the world. Getting work started on this now will be very beneficial for you, especially since room in classes is limited. And we do have schedules that we have to work with our testing center to ensure that you're able to get placement testing. So the sooner you start on this, the better. I highly recommend you get connected with your advisor, whoever that may be. And if you're unsure about who that is, again, the contact info at the end of this, go ahead and connect. Make sure that we're putting you in connection with the people that you need to be able to contact and put you in the right places at the college. But yes, there is time. You can get your placement exams, test scores on file within a week or two. Hopefully, if we're not backed up too much with our testing center at this point. And going forward and getting you enrolled in classes, yes, there is room. In most of our core classes are elective courses, there is room across the board, but that will continue to fill. So the longer you wait, the less options and choices you're going to have.
Absolutely. And then we had another question that was asking more about books, asking if they need to have all of that by the time school starts. Does anyone have advice on purchasing books and your recommendation on, how you go about doing that? Dustin?
May I give a student perspective, and maybe one of the faculty can jump in after that? So there's two sides of this coin, right? There's the very pragmatic side, and there's the straight answer. Straight answer, buy your books now, get them done. Then there's the more pragmatic, right? Most bookstores are going to carry a certain limit of used textbooks for rent and for sale. And the earlier you buy them, the cheaper they may be. Now, that's not always the case. So start looking at what's available and see what books you're going to need and what the cost is with those as well. As a student who's gone through many semesters, sometimes I wait a little longer to see if it's going to be required, but most instructors are really good to show you, hey, this is what's going to be needed for this class. The only thing I normally waited to buy until maybe the last minute were one-time use access codes. And the reason for that is always, hey, you never know what's going to happen between now and the start of that class. Those are non-refundable. So normally I say, buy those right before the start of the class. They're going to be the same cost no matter what.
And I will also speak for the English department. We are pushing to do all open educational resources. We're really making a strong push toward that. For pretty much all of our classes, you will not be required to purchase a book. We understand that these are difficult economic times, and we want to provide that for you. So as far as the English department goes, most of us will not be requiring a textbook. We will give you that information.
And we also, we don't have many textbooks in the art department, but we had recently, I've worked with a faculty member on Open Educational Resource for Art History 1 and 2. So those will have no textbook in the fall. We're working on Art Appreciation next to see how this works. We'll wait and then figure out how we'll do Art Appreciation. But those are the two big ones. And I can't really tell you what the design department's doing. Usually they have manuals for like Illustrator, Photoshop, and the software. I don't know what their alternatives are going to be yet for that, but I'm sure they'll have some.
Awesome. So hopefully that answered those questions. Again, from my personal experience too, it's really just up to you and your professor about when you get those purchased. But I would recommend getting those sooner rather than later, because usually you can get them and you can always take them back if you're not going to be able to. If you drop the class for some other reason, the bookstore can take them back. I'm trying to scroll through the questions to make sure I'm not missing anything.
Clay, can I go ahead and talk about the workshop boot camp that we have?
Yes, absolutely. So Sherry did post some information in the chat, but in case you didn't see it, she's going to give a little bit of information about some resources that could help you prepare for the fall.
Okay, students, if you're feeling anxious about the fall semester, we have an opportunity for you to join us virtually. So we'll have an online meeting link that we can send you for about a 2-hour workshop, but if you can't attend for 2 hours, that's fine. basically what we're going to go over are study skills, time management skills. We're going to tour Canvas, kind of give you an overview, and hopefully you'll feel more comfortable with Canvas. We've already had some workshops this summer. They've been very successful. So we'd love to have you join us. If you're interested, you can email me and I will send you a link. The dates right now, we have 2 on July 30th, one at 9 in the morning and another at 5 in the evening. We'll probably have another one just before the fall semester begins. But if you're interested, please email me and I can give you more details.
And she, like I said, she does have in the chat, she did post, you might have to scroll some, but she posted some information and her email is in the chat as well. So that way you can make that connection. We did have a question about, and this one might be, instructors might could help this. How will we know what books to buy and when? And will the instructors notify the students enrolled in their classes about the books? Dustin may also be able to answer.
Yeah, I can walk through when I go ahead and show how to get into the registration screen. It's a quick detour over to our view textbooks required for the classes that we can go ahead and take a look at as well.
Perfect, yeah. Yes, we did have some questions about how they get to their pages to schedule classes as well. So yeah, we can let's definitely show them the steps for that.
Yeah, let's go ahead. We can do it now if that's okay.
Yep, let's go for it.
Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and pull up our main Nwacc.edu homepage. When you're on this page, you're going to log into your Nwacc account by clicking this login button here at the top right. When you select this, you'll see what I wanted to point out earlier was this email tab. This is how you can go ahead and access that web-based email portal. So if you do want to see your Nwacc email, go ahead and select this. It will ask for your credentials and you'll be able to log in. There's also a quick link to Canvas here. But what we're going to do is log into My Nwacc. This is your main Nwacc account page. Give me a sec while it loads. Here on this page, you're going to have resources galore for your time here at Nwacc. On the left-hand side, you can see a long list of different tabulations where you'll be able to access things such as the treasurer for setting up payment, financial aid office. You can check your student records, such as ordering your transcripts, etc. One thing I did want to go ahead and point out real quick, it's going to be under student records. No, it'll be under registration. Under registration, you can see not only your view detailed schedule, which we'll go into in just a minute, but you can also order your textbooks. When you select this, it'll actually, give me a sec. If it ever does that, just do it again. Nope, it logged me out. Give me one moment. And you can actually go to the bookstore website and see the books that are required for your classes. Sometimes you might have something that says course material selection pending. That may mean that there's no materials for it, or that they just haven't submitted what materials will be required for the class. You'll also be able to see which formats you can order these books in as well. And this is an easy way to do it through our own bookstore. Coming back, if we look at the registration tab, the register, add, or drop classes is the tab where you're able to view, search for, and add classes, in addition to dropping classes if you do need to drop them at any point. Let's go ahead and click this. Again, you'll select the register, add, drop classes tab, and this here will open up the service. You will not see the screen, just ignore this. And you'll be able to select the semester in which you're trying to add and drop your classes. Fall credit is what we're going to select here. And this will pull up your search bar. If you're enrolled in classes, you'll also see this here at the bottom of the screen. And this is the screen that I was showing at the beginning of the presentation, where you can go ahead and search for courses and enter your course info and be able to see what courses are available for you. And it'll pull up anything that is available. One thing I do like to say, students, go ahead and select that open sections only. It does make it a lot easier when you're looking through your classes to see what is available. And then you can go ahead and check the modalities. And after you've added a class, it'll actually pop up down here showing pending. You'll click submit and it'll show the green registered. Is there anything else I should cover in the screen while we have it up? I think you're muted.
I keep doing that. I'm failing at that. I don't think so. We haven't had any specific questions yet. I think you're good.
Perfect. And just one last thing let's go ahead and go back here. Instead of going through the registration screen, if you do click the view detailed schedule, this will just pull up your schedule right away where you're able to see them and see the days and times that you have to meet as well. And you'll also have access to the course details here where you're able to see the modalities. So hopefully that's really helpful. I do recommend going through and exploring what options are here. There's a lot of resources here and it can be invaluable.
All right. Just a couple last minute questions that came in. Someone did respond with, they've got the email from their advisor and they've got some information. They're having problems with their logging into your My Nwacc. I did add to at the end our contact information. If you are having troubles logging into My Nwacc, sometimes the email that gives you your login information gets lost in your spam folder. So I recommend looking there for that. If you're still having issues, I will give you the number to the IT help desk at the end. If you get locked out of your account, if you just need any help that has to do with login information, username, password, that stuff, the IT help desk is the only area that can help you with that. And I'm going to show you that number at the end so you can call it. Another question, someone had a specific question about they may miss a lab for a specific reason. For answering that question, you need to speak with your instructor about that, and we can't tell you if you'll be excused or not for whatever the reason, but definitely speak with your instructor for that lab. You should be able to, Dustin, whenever they have create their schedule in the beginning before classes even start, they're able to email their instructor and find that information in their schedule, correct?
That's correct. If you look in your class details, you'll be able to see who your professor is and have contact with them. Now, some classes may have a TBA instructor. If that is the case, I do recommend going ahead and reaching out to the program advisor or your advisor, and we'll make sure to put you in contact with who we need to put you in contact with.
So a good place to start is speaking with your advisor, and they can show you, if you have questions on who your instructor is, reach out to your advisor. And then once you find out who that instructor is, then you'll be able to contact them and make arrangements for whatever the reason may be. We can't say for sure if you'll be excused or not. That's going to have to be up to the professor specifically. Someone also asked, they said on their calendar of their classes start on the 24th. They're confused on the start date. The 22nd is a Saturday, and we only say that because there's a very, very limited number of classes that will begin on Saturday, but not a lot. So typically your schedule, most of the schedules will start on that Monday on the 24th. So just look at your schedule for sure. And as long as you're reading your schedule, you should be fine. If you have a friend that's doing a class on a Saturday, don't let that confuse you. That's just how their schedule is. Your schedule is showing you exactly where you need to be and at what time. I think that is all the questions that we have. Just any of our other panelists, do y'all have any other information you want to add, or any advice, or any other recommendations at all for our audience?
Clay, I would just say to all of you, thank you so much for joining us today. It's so important, and it speaks to your commitment of earning a higher education. It speaks to the commitment to further yourself, expand your horizons for you and your family. And it's just so important. I think the number one thing you can do is to connect with us. So Clay, again, at the end, will show you several ways to connect with us. Again, text, email, phone call. And then once classes begin, still connect with us. You still have an advisor. You have an advisor in enrollment services that will stay with you until you graduate. You will have an advisor based on your major that will stay with you until you graduate. And then we have so many resources available to you. Our Counseling and Wellness Center, where we have licensed professional counselors, where you can go and just talk to them about time management, any personal issues you might have. There are several clubs and organizations that you will be able to take part in, and just so many opportunities that the largest community college in Arkansas affords you, which is Nwacc. And so again, we commend you for being with us today, and encourage your friends. If you have friends or family that are unsure about going back to college during this time, have them reach out to us. And even if they don't want to apply, have them call our Enrollment Support Center, text us or email us, and just have the conversation. We're more than happy to just visit with you and walk you through next steps. And if this isn't the appropriate time, that's okay. But it's important for you to know your options. And I just thank you on behalf of Student Services for being here today, and let us know how we can help you.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for joining us. Once again, we will have another session later this evening at 6 p.m. And it'll be mostly the same information, but if you join late or if you think you have a friend or family member that should join in and listen and watch the information, feel free to let them know. We're sending out an email. There's also a Facebook event listed that will have the link in it. Or you can reach out to us and say you want to, attend the live event tonight, but you don't have a way to, you don't have the link, and we'll make sure you get it. I'm going to put on the screen now some of the contact information. So the first thing, ask your advisor at nwacc.edu. This is a really good place to start if you're confused, you don't know who to talk to about how to make your class schedule, anything like that. That'll go to that email account, and an advisor will connect with you to help you with whatever those steps may be. Text or call us. This number is our texting number. It will forward to our general phone number and give you some options on where you should go to. But if you text us, someone will respond as soon as we can to get you connected with the right person. We might be able to answer your question through text, but if it gets more specific, we may ask you to call us, or we'll find a way to reach out to you. You can find us on Instagram, Nwacc Bound. Message us there if you need to. And again, we'll do the same thing as text or anything else, get you connected with the right person. Send us a message on the Northwest Arkansas Community College Facebook page. And then lastly, the IT Help Desk. This is the link the contact information I was mentioning earlier. If you're having issues with logging in or locating your username, if you forget your password, or if you just can't find that email, call them. They will get some information from you to verify your identity, who you are, and then they will help you get access to that. And it's very important you do get access to your My Nwacc account. Because, as Dustin showed you, all the steps, all the ways you're going to register for your classes, the way you share your information directly with your advisor, it's all going to happen through your My Nwacc portal. So definitely reach out to the IT Help Desk if you're having issues with technology. But yeah, again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for all of our speakers this morning. Again, we'll be back again at 6 p.m. tonight. We look forward to seeing a lot of you there. Thank you so much for joining us.